Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast. Presented by Stephanie Williams and Greg Lewis.
All right, so get this. Imagine a dating app, right? But catfishing, totally impossible. Your digital identity, totally safe and secure. And relationships, built on trust and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of code. Ready for the future of love.
Let's just say blockchain is going to change what it's complicated really means.
That's right. Today, we're diving deep into how this whole blockchain thing could completely rewrite the rules of dating. Like, forget swiping. What if you actually owned your dating profile?
You're thinking NFTs.
Yeah, NFTs.
And that's just the beginning, really.
Okay, you got me hooked now. But let's back up a sec. For those who are new to this whole blockchain thing, how does it, connect to finding love? Explain it to me.
So at its core, we're talking about trust and transparency with blockchain. It's like this digital ledger, right? Super secure, can't mess with it. Now imagine that, but applied to online dating.
Okay, now we're talking. I'm starting to see the potential.
Right. One of the most exciting things is smart contracts. Imagine a digital agreement written in code that just automatically makes sure everyone sticks to the terms of, say, a date or even a whole relationship.
Hold on. Instead of I'll call you, it's actually in the code.
Exactly.
No more wondering if they're ghosting.
You got it. No more guessing games. Everyone knows what's up right from the start.
Okay, that's kind of amazing, but also kind of intense. But is this actually happening? Are people using this?
Oh, absolutely. Believe it or not, there are already high-end dating apps out there, like LUXY. They're already using blockchain for verifying users, making things more trustworthy.
No more fake profiles.
Exactly.
Sign me up. But what about actually finding a match? Can blockchain help with compatibility beyond just getting rid of the fakers?
Absolutely. Remember those NFTs we were talking about? Imagine a dating app, but your entire profile, IS, in NFT.
Okay, now that sounds pretty technical. How would that even work?
Think of it like a digital passport that you own. You control it. It's got your dating history, what you like, your personality, basically everything that makes you, well, you in the dating world. And the best part is you take it with you from app to app.
No more starting from scratch every time.
Nope.
Game changer.
Okay, but it gets better, right?
Oh yeah, way better. Imagine matchmaking NFTs. These tokens. They show your unique traits and bam, instant compatibility check with someone else.
So like a compatibility test built right in?
You could say that, yeah. No more endless swiping, more meaningful connections right off the bat.
This is blowing my mind. We're talking a whole new era of dating here.
We're just getting started, really. But we've got to talk about the privacy part of this, right? All these digital profiles and tokens and such.
Especially these days when everyone's after our data. So how does blockchain actually keep things private? We're talking about owning our own data and carrying around our dating resumes like digital trophies. Like, how does this whole blockchain thing actually keep things private? That's where the beauty of decentralization comes in.
Decentralization always sounds so mysterious. Break it down for me.
Basically, instead of your personal information being stored on a company's server, it's spread across the blockchain, making it much harder to hack or access without your permission.
So it's like trying to find a needle not just in one haystack, but in a field of haystacks.
That's a great way to put it. Plus, remember how we talked about blockchain transactions being immutable?
Yeah, like that permanent record thing, right?
Exactly. It means that every interaction, every message is recorded in a way that's virtually impossible to alter or delete.
Okay, I see how that enhances security and trust, but how does that play into privacy?
Well, think about it this way. In certain countries, simply having a dating app on your phone can be risky. With blockchain, authorities would have a much harder time tracking your activity or knowing who you're connecting with.
Wow, that adds a whole new layer to the idea of finding love in the digital age. It's almost like blockchain could be a tool for social change, creating safer spaces for people to connect.
Absolutely. And it's not just about protecting users in restrictive regions. Everyone benefits from more privacy and control over their personal information.
Right, because let's face it, not everyone wants their dating history plastered all over the internet.
Exactly. Blockchain could empower users to decide exactly what they share and with whom. Imagine a world where you have complete control over your digital footprint when it comes to dating.
That sounds incredibly freeing. But as with any new technology, I imagine there are some speed bumps on the road to this blockchain dating utopia.
You're definitely right to be thinking critically. While the potential is huge, there are still some hurdles to overcome.
Like what? What are the biggest challenges facing blockchain dating right now?
One of the major ones is scalability. Can these platforms handle millions of users and interactions without slowing down or becoming too expensive to run?
So it's a question of if it can go from a small town to a bustling metropolis.
Exactly. And then there's the question of user adoption. Will people embrace these new platforms, even if it means changing how they're used to dating online?
It's like that moment when the first touchscreen phone came out. Cool technology, but would it catch on?
It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Platforms need to convince users that the switch is worth it, and users might be hesitant to switch until they see widespread adoption.
So it's a bit of a waiting game. We're on the precipice of a potential revolution in online dating, but only time will tell if it lives up to the hype.
That's the exciting part. And it's not just about whether blockchain dating will succeed or not. It's about what it will look like if it does.
What do you mean?
Well, we've talked about the potential benefits: trust, transparency, security, privacy. But technology is a tool.
Okay, I'm following.
It can be used for good or, let's just say, not so good purposes.
So even with all the potential positives, it's important to be aware of the potential downsides as well.
Exactly. It's about being informed and asking the right questions. What happens if there's a bug in the code? Who controls these platforms, and are they accountable to their users?
Those are some pretty big questions. It sounds like we need to be having conversations about ethics and responsibility alongside all this talk of innovation.
100%. And that's where the real discussion begins.
So are we talking like a whole new world of dating, or is this going to be like another one of those things that sounds good in theory but doesn't actually work out?
It really is the big question, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think there's an easy answer. Not yet, anyway. But I really believe knowing what's up is huge. Like, the more we get this whole blockchain thing, the more we can actually push for better, safer platforms.
Knowledge is power, right? Yeah. Especially in the digital world.
Exactly. And one of the things I find really interesting is how this could change, like, relationships themselves, how we see them.
Okay, now you've got me curious. Tell me more.
Okay, so think about this what-if relationship milestones. Like, I don't know, meeting the parents or even the first "I love you." What if those were, like, recorded on the blockchain as NFTs?
Wait, instead of just like a Facebook post, it's a digital memory that you actually own.
Exactly. Think about how that changes how we see these moments.
Right.
Or imagine smart contracts, but for, like, really complex relationships, like polyamorous relationships. Blockchain could bring this whole other level of transparency that could be so good.
It's like we're making up the rules as we go, huh? Kind of cool, kind of scary.
It really is. And it just shows how important it is to really talk about what we want, what our boundaries are, as we figure this whole thing out.
So for our listeners out there, swiping away, looking for love, what's the main takeaway here?
I'd say be curious. Actually learn about this stuff.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask for better, safer platforms. Ask how your data is being used.
And hey, maybe that next swipe right leads to a real love story, but coded into existence. Who knew algorithms and love could go together?
Right. Crazy new world out there. But one thing's for sure, the future of love, definitely not going to be boring.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What if, and just hear me out, what if finding love in this whole blockchain world isn't about the tech itself? What if it's about how we use it to really connect with people? For real,
Something to think about, right?
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into love and blockchain. It's been real. Until next time, keep talking, keep asking those questions, and keep those sparks flying. Online, offline, however you find them.
Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast.